Hey everybody, coming on here to make a second video, which I had hoped I wouldn't have to make. But again, seeing the actions and inactions of certain people regarding the fallout from the Carus Chemical fire, somebody's got to keep help standing up for these people, and I plan to be one of them. So first and foremost, I want to again acknowledge that I was an alderman for 8 years, and in that time frame, I failed Jamie Hicks and the residents of the 4th Ward. I'm going to own that forever. Jamie complained a lot about the truck traffic back then going to what we now know, the Apollo warehouse. And at that time, one of the complaints he had also was about the crushed sewer and stuff, things of that nature. That became my focus. And then talking to our city engineer and planning and stuff, we knew we had a plan in place in the near future to redo that stuff. So I kind of let it go at that. And where my head should have gone was, what is all this truck traffic bringing to that warehouse back there? And is that facility equipped and safe to handle that stuff? So again, to Jamie and all of them, I own that. I failed you, but I'm going to do what I can now going forward for you. I had somebody say to me this week, a younger person, that they were impressed with my first video, that they were surprised at how I controlled emotion and kept my composure and stuff. And for those of you who know me, that's not always the case. I'm an emotional, sometimes reactive person, but I'm trying to influence Jamie Hicks in this nature. Jamie has some righteous anger, but I'm trying to continually convey to him that, he may lose some supporters and may lose some people. Some of the language he uses, some of the name calling he does. But again, Jamie is who he is. He's been on this topic since 2017. So he's got some built up frustration, and I get that. Let's talk a little bit about trust, a little bit about lies, a little about misleading, misguiding the people who we are supposed to be able to trust with these type of issues. And I'm going to start with the EPA. One of the things that the Sierra Club found when they looked at the air sampling testing that was done before and after the fire and such and everything. And one of the things they pointed out immediately was that the unit of measure was changed from one day to the next. So in order to have comparable readings, you would have had to multiply the one unit of measure by 1,000 to come to the other unit of measure. Now, are any of us going to be smart enough to catch that? Absolutely not. Why would the EPA do that? Why would they mislead us? Are you not here to protect the citizens? Are you not here to look after the environment? Why would you do that? I don't understand. As far as Fred Moore, my understanding he's LaSalle County's rep for the IEMA. He had told Jamie on previous occasion that there were no 55-gallon drums in that warehouse, that he had seen it. There was nothing in there of that nature. Once he is caught and busted, and knows that he has been busted, because they watch these videos Jamie puts out, not a doubt in my mind, a lot of people are watching that are trying to now backtrack and cover their butts. Just do the right thing from the start. You don't have to worry about that. So he now is coming back and documenting and saying that, yep, he saw 55-gallon drums there. So again, trust. These are the people you're supposed to trust. And you wonder why people are questioning things. You can say conspiracy theory. You can say whatever you want to try to dismiss these things. They're there. They're there. I'm calling on my county board now. This gentleman, he's not probably appointed by the county, I get that, but he is our county rep for the IEMA. So I'm calling on the county board to check into this gentleman, find out about his lies, find out why he's trying to mislead and not do his job. This isn't simply a mistake where he said, you know what, I thought they had 30 drums and they actually had 32 drums or something like that. It's not a matter of that. He said he flat out did not see any 55-gallon drums there. And that's a flat out lie that he now is coming back and admitting he saw. That's a problem. Jerry Janik, fire chief, never had a conversation with Jerry, don't know him. So no personal thoughts on him from experience as far as dealing with him. From the stuff that I've seen, the stuff that I've heard, he's got to go. We need a fire chief who's going to be looking out for the safety and welfare of our citizens. And to my understanding of the things that have been said and done, and his trying to pass the buck and trying to act like he has no authority for anything or that he's unaware of anything. That's not leadership. That's not how you need as a fire chief in LaSalle. So again, don't live there anymore, so you can discount me if you want to, but in my opinion, he's got to go. Still amazes me to this day how quickly people's concerns were dismissed, told everything was fine, your dogs are fine to be out in the yard, everything is kosher. How quickly that happened after the fire before testing results were back of soils or anything else still is amazing to me. I understand wanting people to not panic, whatever, in some circumstances, but this is a town that has already had 2 Superfund cleanups. 2. One being the LaSalle Electric Utilities cleanup that was in the north part of LaSalle, stopped a block short of my parents where I grew up. Was a kid back then, didn't understand it. But funny, I got a message from somebody who did live up in the area, he's a little bit older than I am, and he talked a little bit about it. He remembered them burning the dirt for like 4 years before they determined that they weren't burning it hot enough, so now they've got to bring in a different incinerator and do it properly. So for 4 years, that was going out in the air in that area. 4 years. Again, not anybody intentionally do that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that how can you not question these things after some of the things this town has been through? Then the Matheson Hegler Zinc Superfund cleanup. Zinc, remember that word, because guess what? When the air filter results came back for some of the citizens that had that tested, after everybody said nothing to see here, nothing to worry about here, guess what one of the heavy metals is that was in their air filter tests? Zinc. Does that concern you? It concerns me. I've got family and friends there. Absolutely concerns me. We've got a zinc Superfund cleanup that is still finishing up. And now we just had a chemical fire. And some of those yards and homes that had that cleaned up now have that back in their yards and in their homes. It's not right. Do the right thing, Carus. So let's talk a little bit about power and influence. You know, it took a while to get a whole lot of coverage after all this kind of died down and everybody said it was all safe and everything was all good, all clear, nothing to worry about here. And then some articles started to come out. The radio started to talk about it. And then I saw some strange things again. WLPO spent a full morning ripping on Carus, not only for the fire, for the Apollo warehouse, anything else, but for just not being a good community partner and their lack of giving back to the community in which they've enriched themselves. Then it suddenly went silent. I don't know. I tried to give it a few days, hope that it was just, you know, hey, they can't talk about it every day. I get that. But were phone calls made? There was an article about Inga Carus going on a trip with Pritzker as part of his delegation. Now, that's not new. I've done a little bit of research. It's easy Google search to find that she went on trips to Asia with Governor Rauner when he was in office and stuff and everything. She's an important person. That's an important company. I get it. I'm not. But here's what's funny. I can't find that article anymore. I went back and searched on our local media sites all the way back to the beginning of February. And this was just like a week or so ago that it was out. I can't find it. Again, were phone calls made? Did they not like that maybe people would connect dots and make assumptions or implications? I don't know. But here's another thing I found interesting. Didn't pick up on it at first or whatever and stuff, but in one of Jamie's videos, he talks about the fact that he is not allowed to see a site plan for that Apollo warehouse because of concerns of terrorism. We already hear the word terrorism a lot, right? Homeland Security? What did Pritzker just do an executive order to do? Did he not just put out an executive order that changed the name of the Emergency Management Agency to the Illinois Emergency Management Agency and Office of Homeland Security? Supposedly to help that these guys can better coordinate their response efforts to future disasters and emergencies. How's that changing how you can respond? Unless you want to use the Patriot Act or other things and stuff and everything that are involved with Homeland Security to maybe claim that you can't share things, claim that people don't have a right to know things. Maybe. Again, you can call them conspiracy theories. You can do whatever you want. But there's too many lies that have already been uncovered to dismiss all of this. Just take parts, dismiss others, that's fine. But you can't dismiss it all. Not a chance. Not a chance. Carus has already said They don't see any need to do any future testing. Nothing's going to be done there. So again, it's on the everyday person and the other clubs like the Sierra Club or other nonprofits that are out there helping people. I'm hearing from people from Ottawa, other places that now are sharing their concerns and stuff and everything. And I'll get into a little bit about the local people here at the end, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the claims. I don't know anybody. It's 6 weeks later. I don't know anybody that's had a claim actually paid out yet, either by the insurance companies or especially by Carus's insurance company they've got working with the residents. Again, you're supposed to take your own pictures, provide your own receipts, do this, do that, and everything. They're not sending anybody out. That might cost money. They're not going to do that. So what happens if you don't know how to navigate the process? Say you're an older person who doesn't, understand computer technology, whatever, who knows? Suppose you don't take pictures that they feel show enough proof. Your claim's just denied, and it's on you because you took the pictures. It's not right. It's not right. If they really cared about the community, they'd get somebody here to be looking at this stuff. Or they would say to the local insurance agencies, you take care of that, use your adjusters, whatever and stuff, and we will take care of reimbursing you in the end. That's not what I'm hearing. We'll work with you. That's the type of approach it is. So for the city to put out a letter kind of touting, hey, we're here and you're working with the residents. Great job, Carus. No, that's not how I see it. Not how I see it at all. As far as city council, people better start paying attention. I posted the meeting from the other night and told people, LaSalle, you better listen, you better pay attention. And here's why. You got a couple guys standing up. You got Jordan Crane and you got Bob Thompson. Known Bob a long time. Jordan, I've just known more in recent years because he took my spot, and that's okay. It's interesting because a lot of people, I understand. Initially, you trusted Carus, you trusted the EPA, you trusted people who are supposed to be able to be trusted in this situation. I did too. I said, hey, calm down, give them a chance to do the right thing. Well, it's 6 weeks later. You've got air filter test results showing heavy metals. You've got, particulate matter or, that Jamie's collected and stuff. There's so much more testing that needs to be done, so much more to show you're a true community partner and that you're truly looking out for these people. And some of you guys still sitting back and doing nothing for the residents. Not good with that. If that affects your opinion of me, if that affects our friendships, I can't help that. We should be able to agree to disagree. But those of you know, I spent 8 years in that council, and that's not how it goes sometimes. One thing that I caught in that meeting, I should say a couple of things. One, Jim Bassador. Jim Bassador's been acting this way for years. I expressed my concerns and my frustrations with the mayor and the city attorney back then. Nothing we could really do because he's not violating any laws or doing anything that we could, remove him. But it's time to vote him out. Whoever doesn't win this election in that ward, this upcoming election, needs to run against him again in 2024. Jim needs to be done. The only time Jim cares about things like health and whatever is when it affects him directly. So again, when we put in the no burn of landscape and waste, Jim was opposed to it. You know why Jim was opposed to it? Because he had a fenced-in backyard, and he didn't know how he was going to get those leaves to the curb, he said. Can you imagine now if you were able to burn in the city of LaSalle after all this stuff dropped on your properties? I wouldn't want to be breathing that air. The other thing I heard that really disturbed me, because I had hoped that things had changed, was that when Jordan Crane stood up and wanted more testing for the residents, the comment made to him was, oh, you're up for election, Jordan. Good job. Good job. That same nonsense was thrown at me when I stood up for the residents of Dimmock, when Illinois Cement wanted to expand, and I pushed for a master well agreement. Same thing was said to me. Oh, you're just pushing for this because you're up for election. That's garbage. That is garbage. You don't have to agree on everything, but to make it personal, to claim that they're only trying to do this for an election. What was funny about my situation was residents in Dimmock who can't vote in that election anyway. But it just shows that things are not progressing in the right way. Things have not changed as far as some of the negative aspects, and that needs to change. Just needs to change. So you people better get behind people like Jordan Crane, Bob Thompson, and the people who are actually standing up for you, because it might not affect you this time around, but maybe someday it will. The lawyers are coming. I know Jordan shares a lot. I know Jamie shares a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff he doesn't share. You know who does have it? The lawyers. And they're coming. People have had the time to do the right thing, and they're not. So I can tell you right now, lawyers are coming, lawsuits are coming. And part of that is why people are circling the wagons, watching Jamie's videos, trying to figure out what to address next. But again, you've had the time, especially you, Carus. You've had the time. I kept saying, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Prove to these people, beyond a reasonable doubt, that they're safe. Again, 2 Superfund cleanups here in LaSalle. And people are just going to blow this off like they're overreacting. No way, man. No way. So, you know, I've got some faith that I've really relied on the last few years, COVID and otherwise. And, you know, we had a sermon recently that talked about, you know, the places where you have your greatest anxiety are the places in your life where you trust God the least. So I'm working on that. So I'm trusting in God on this. But I also know that what you give to God are the things that you yourself can't do or can't change. Well, there are things we can change. We can change. So my last point is to those of you who are sitting this one out. Those of you who look to Marty to borrow his dump trailer, to have him help you with a project. Other people in that area, you know, I don't want to throw out names. I don't want to ever use names in a way that allows Carus or other people to come at people who confide in me or come and talk to me about things. There are a lot of people involved in this that have talked to me, and I'm not going to put out anything that's going to potentially jeopardize them. But I am going to say, friends and family of those people in the 4th Ward, you better stand up. I'm going to start calling you out. Don't sit this one out. Those people have been property damaged, health concerns, serious health concerns. If you've seen those air filter test results, they should be concerned. Quit sitting it out. Get behind them. I don't care how you do it. Get behind them. This was longer than I wanted it to be. I've just had so many thoughts running through my head in this last week. I don't know. I don't know where it goes from here. Well, I do know where it goes from here. It's going to go to lawsuits because Carus went out to do the right thing, and the city's not standing up strong enough. So, again, agree with me, disagree with me. Oh, and one step further. Back in the beginning when I talked about being balanced, not emotional, there was one time this week they got me, got a reaction out of me. We had a friend comment on my post that these people should get a grip. Get a grip. That's how you treat your friends who had metals and toxins dropped on their properties and their yards. You tell them to get a grip. Man, hope I won't need that friend in a time of need. That's not a friend. I know why the person said it, but that's not cool. Not a friend at all. Anyway, so friendships be influenced or not influenced by the things I'm doing for my brother, my parents, the city of LaSalle residents who need other voices to stand up for them. It is what it is. If you can't handle what I'm saying and it affects our relationship, then I guess it does. It's not affecting my personal relationship with you, but I'm going to tell you, as far as this city issue goes, how I feel. Okay? God bless. Keep up the hard work, Jamie and others. You guys are making a difference. If not for you, this would have already been a dead issue and things would have already moved on. So stay strong. Good luck.